What's up, Mr. Cash Money, sir? I am also sending this video to my Telegram just so everyone can see and everyone can learn from each other. I'm watching your video, bro. I really like it. Okay, it's awesome. I'm 18 minutes in, and you've alerted me to something. I'm a bit concerned now because with ATROPA, I did not know that people would weigh so heavily on one thing I've said, which I've just kind of have to like summarize off the cuff. And it was this discrepancy where I say, look, Maria bought PDAI at the start and then he bonded it. And he could have just held it and dumped forever when I said that. So I know you make a discrepancy with it. You say, you know, there's a chance. Oh, he did do the, he did an exploit of it. But honestly, to me, that's irrelevant. To me, whether he's an exploit or he bought, to me, doesn't really change anything. But listening to you in your video, so what I've gathered, and for everyone else out here know, a lot of people, they just hold ATROPA based off that. Like, that's giving them like super conviction that everything's going to work out for that. And I hope it does, okay? But I want everyone to know something. So we've all known, right? If you're going to have a currency, it has to be able to increase its money supply somewhere. That's why when I've seen MakerDAO, I made a whole video, MakerDAO Resurrection, and I'm not 100% sure on the code and the conclusions of everything out here, but I've used ratios to just show me on the ATROPA-pDAI ratio that, to me, this is just me, man. I could go down to the grave. It just does. I'm sending it to you, Mr. Cash Money, as well. Like, this ratio tells me ATROPA shouldn't be this high. PDAI is too low, ATROPA is too high. That's like, look at this ratio. This ratio, fair value, used to trade around the value of like 5. Okay? And then Maria dumped all the PDAI, right? He cracked it down, and I think, was this a caddy spike? Yeah, the caddy spike. Basically, so ATROPA was like really expensive versus PDAI now, because PDAI went down pretty much to 0. And then it went to a value of up here of 140. And now it's still sitting at a value of 24. So in my mind, like, I've always, to me, I'm like, man, there's no, like, this is just me. Like, I know it was artificially sent up there because PDAI was like dumped the crap. So like, what I'm doing is just removing myself from the story. I don't know, like, if someone malevolent, I don't know. To me, this ratio looks super, super, super dangerously expensive to me. That's just to me. Okay, that's just to me. So, and I think it would come down here. Then we're going to have, I'd rather have a whole argument about what's going on when the value's like all the way down here. Now, that ratio can either, one of two things can happen, right? So PDAI can like run up 30x, and then ATROPA only runs up like 8x. That's one way. Or just ATROPA dumps down. That's why they're ratios, right? You don't know exactly what's going to move up or down as well, or which leg's going to move or how much. But yeah, so I wanted to show you this story because, yeah, I know it's confusing, friends, but like, now there are these airdrop tokens which people are saying it's like giving you a claimable ownership on something on another place, which might be the PulseChain Layer 2. And it might be a way it removes ATROPA because you're just getting a claimable ownership on somewhere else. Right? And I want everyone to know as well, remember NineIronCapital said a month or two ago, the community will have to make a decision. And we're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like it's a staking? He goes, don't worry, it'll be obvious. That's what I'm wondering. I'm just wondering because I don't know shit, man. I'm wondering if the decision they're talking about is, do you hand in your claimable ownership somewhere else and get PDAI, which is unbonded and free, and it's its own thing now. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have the ATROPA, the weed system of it. Also, to let everyone know as well, I've made multiple videos on ATROPA and everything that's been going on, and I've just shown like ATROPA, just so everyone knows, friends, they've built, they've built a derivatives monetary system without the economy built first. They're basically putting the cart before the horse. That's why people are speculating that there's going to be future activity. But obviously with Mr. Cash Money, he's obviously thinking otherwise. He's like, no, man. All these things just been totally bad, okay? That's why it's hard to decipher. That's why, just with me, this is just me, man. I could be wrong, okay? I'm just trying to be mindful of everyone. I've always seen this as a PDI story. And I've seen if anybody wants to participate in any of that, like, to me, it's just me. I'd think 95% PDI, 5% you can throw in whatever you want. If you want to go do the beta plays, you do this Fed or Trope or whatever. That's just, to me, it's always been PDI story. People come for PDI. That's how I see it. And I want everyone else out to see here and watch this video. But when you talk about all these Fed spine and stuff out here, remember, I don't know exactly what they're doing. And that's why people are speculating that they believe if people say that MakerDAO is dead, you need a way to make currency units, which are a derivative of the base money. So that's why people were speculating that ATROPA keeps minting these tokens and they're like derivative plays of each other. They basically just expand the money supply and you just have the base collateral. That's what I think people, they're trying to run with this financial system extrapolation and stuff like here. But like I said, it's like you're putting the cart before the horse. We don't actually have a financial economic system built yet. Okay, there's nothing there. That's why it's total speculation here. But I want to stress to you again, this is extremely important, friend. This is why I use ratios. Yeah, because they tell me a story without my opinion. All right, I like to use ratios. That's why I like to use them and go, what is this story telling me? You know, friends, when the ATROPA caddy dump first happened, and I'll show you. Right here, this is the PDI chart, okay? This is the PDI weekly chart. When it went to zero, literally here, remember, PDI goes to zero. Yep, and then that's why basically every ratio against PDI spikes up because the denominator pretty much went to zero. That's why you see, remember, this is ATROPA divided by PDI, okay? This ratio. See how it spikes up here? But this was, to me, that's why I always said, we're pissed off. We're like, man, this is artificial. What the hell's going on? That's why we're like, man, no one's coming for ATROPA, duh. And this was pretty thick bonding as well with the ratio here. But even I go, man, over time, I've always said this thing I know it wants to go down. I know this is like, and here's the thing, a lot of people, they were curious as well. They go, but Simon, there's a lot of bonding and stuff out here. And I said, look, man, yeah, bonding can go a long way, but I've seen in history, you have too, if you go look it up, there have been central banks who have tried to fight a currency and fight the market and they have lost. Bank of England, for example. Yeah? So a central bank, friends, it's funny. Central bank is the biggest player in the market. They are, but they are not the whole market. So that's why I always saw you can make this wall as thick as you want. I always believe that the PDI power, everyone's coming for it. That's why this ratio helped me tell a story, removing my bias. I have no idea about how any of this works. So I don't know what to do from here, for what everyone what to do. Everyone's just going to keep speculating. But that's why I've always just had, say, the PDI focus. If people want to focus on these and they have like theories about, is Maria helping? And we have the glittery underpants and all of these. But I know, man, it's speculation within speculation, right? I want to now just show for everyone at home as well. You're seeing the word mirror, M-I-R-R-O-R, like an actual mirror. See yourself in the reflection appear more because we got these like airdrop tokens. I don't even know how to check them, by the way, but I guess they're in our wallets. But look at this. By DCMing, all of our assets got mirrored on the 12th. They'll want to cause confusion and worry you for a week. But really, this is the start of the price sync between the layer 2 and the layer 1. Mirror stage. Every token is cloned, so the layer 2 has a clean picture of current balances and prices. Model stage. On the layer 2, the arbitrage of the slingshot PRC20 can take place, bringing PDI and some other assets to parity. Once the prices and collateral ratios on the layer 2 line up properly, the layer 2 posts those results back to PulseChain. Everything you are beginning and will continue to hear from the web of alt accounts is BS. The arb to $1 just begun. He says, to summarize, the 404 mirrors are like a temporary reflection of the real token, so the network can run peg calculations, verify new prices of the roll-up layer, and then update the main chain safely once everything matches. I wonder, once again, we're all in this together, man. We all want PDAI to succeed. I just wonder if this is how it removes the admin key function error problem with PDAI. You know, I think if like they could do like some like multi-sig thing here. I wonder if that's how we move away from that. And also I wonder how that's like completes maybe the maker DAO, you know, the story complete there, and also how it unbonds the ATROPA. I wonder, is this what we're seeing? Where we're like, we're just getting a token that's got claimable ownership of something else, and it's basically moving that. I don't have all the answers here, but yeah, that's what I want everyone to know. And you're also seeing right now, like in typical fashions, Richard Hart is like talking about pump tires and stuff out here. Personally, just for everyone to know, I feel like that's why things are starting to ramp up. I don't think it's a coincidence we have these layer 2 new 404 copies, and Richard Hart is like talking about, oh, go trade on pump tires, go make these other shit coins, like to basically just rinse out the final weak hands once again and be like, hey, before we move up, if anybody's thinking of cheating these precious coins, they can go cheat them now and go lose them in the casino. So that's my thoughts out there, friends. I wish everybody the best of luck. Don't forget he loves you. Catch you soon.